Welcome back, everybody. As we are getting closer to Halloween, it is time to do some more outdoor decorating. And I've got two new inflatables here that I want to share with you from our good friends at Goodeny. At least I think that's how you pronounce it. And just to give you kind of an idea of part of my design concept, I will be using a pumpkin archway that crosses my driveway. But I don't believe it's wide enough to fully span the driveway. And I think one of the inflatables that they have given me today is going to help me add to that, and that's the stacked pumpkin. I mean, I know we all love the stacked pumpkin effects, and I think this one is nice because when you look through, and we'll take a look here in a moment at the Amazon page for this product, but take a glance at some of the other stacked pumpkins as well, you're going to see they have such hideous designs in general that I really like the faces on this one. There's a few aspects to this inflatable that I think are going to be nice, including the way it lights up and the fact that it's 6 foot tall. So I'm going to have my big archway and then this little guy off on the side to kind of fill in that whole driveway space. But we're going to take a look at this in just a moment, but let me show you the other inflatable that they sent me. And this is a Frankenstein, because you know I love the Frankenstein. He is a bit cutesy, although he's a little scarier. We have actually looked, I think, at a Frankenstein inflatable in the past, but it didn't look kind of this... I don't know, he's almost kind of scary, but he's still kind of cutesy. I think that might be atoning a little bit for some of my comments earlier about trying to scare the poor children into crying. You know, if that's not your thing, I completely understand. You'll probably enjoy the more toned down inflatables like this, or even your stacked pumpkins, which kind of goes with any decor. Before we go ahead and open up the boxes, though, let's go ahead and take a look at the Amazon pages and see what they're all about. All right, so here's the main page here for Goodeny's store. As you can see, they've got a lot of different kinds of inflatables: patriotic, Christmas, Easter, and so forth. So here's a few that we are going to look at today, at least a couple of them. But they also, again, have these patriotic ones and Easter and so forth. And I saw some other designs for potential Halloween inflatables that were not on this page yet, but maybe in future years, so you might want to keep your eye on them. This is the stacked pumpkin inflatable. Again, it's a 6 foot blow up. It has a multicolor lighting system, so I'm kind of curious to see how that is going to work in the inflatable. That kind of interested me a lot. As we scroll through some of the pictures here, again, it has dazzling LED light, and we're excited to see what that is all about. Of course, there's a blower in there and your tethers as well. As we scroll down, I really love their Halloween theming, and I think they've done a good job on their box as well. But just look at these fun advertisements. And then it gets some relatively good reviews as well. And as I said, we'll take a quick look at some of these other stacked pumpkins. So, I mean, they're okay, but there's nothing really designy with some of these other ones, which is why I kind of like their look here. I like the striped design on the pumpkins. It kind of makes it look a little bit more realistic, and they just all have sort of fun faces. Over here is the monster guy that we were looking at, and he again is also 6 foot tall. And same sort of pictures here. Again, dazzling LED lights. It's got a blower, yard stakes, etc. And then as we scroll down, this one does have a bit of a mixed review. So it looks like this person first gave them a 3-star. I guess they had some problems, but look, the company sent them a working one. So it looks like they stand behind their products. This person who wasn't happy with it says that their arms don't light up. That's kind of a common problem we see in some inflatables, but we need to see for ourselves how that looks. Before we go ahead and take these outside to inflate and test them, let's go ahead and open up the box and see what it looks like inside. All right, so it looks like it comes in its own protective bag. So we like that. So in case you can't fit it back in the box, which is a common problem, you can just store it in its bag. All right, we've got some tethers and some string. All right, this is interesting. So it appears to be a weight. We can fill it with water, And I guess maybe it goes in the bottom? According to the instructions on the back of the box, we need to fill this with water and then we can put it in the base of the inflatable to keep it upright. I'm kind of excited about that. I don't think I've ever seen one like this. I hope that works out well. All right, let's go ahead and open up the monster inflatable as well. I just kind of want to see if they have that same weight bag as well. So they do have the, yeah, they do. Okay, they've got the exact same weight, which I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work in the base of him because it looks like he stands up on 2 feet. So let's just open it up and make sure it looks the same. There we go. So we do have the same sort of weight option for the base. Let's go ahead and get this stuff outside and get it inflated and see how that works. All right, it looks like we made it outside just before dark. Let's go ahead and unfurl the inflatable and see what we are dealing with. So, as you can see, it is very tall. On the bottom of the inflatable, we do have a small fan, and it's got little legs that stick up, so if it hits the ground, you're still going to have some airflow. The cord's sort of tucked in the inflatable, but you can pull it out. And let's see how long this is. All right, so we've got about a good 3 feet or so. It looks like the zipper does come a ways out. So I think that's how we're going to be able to stuff that weight in there. I did go ahead and fill up our weight with water, and this thing weighs about a good 10 pounds. So I like this concept. It's really going to prevent this inflatable from blowing away. But for our purposes, I am not going to use that right now. Let's just go ahead and plug it in after I zip this back up, and we'll see how it stands on its own. Whenever I can get away from using the tethers, I absolutely will every time. So I'm really excited about that weight. All right, let's go ahead and plug this in. All right, right away we can see it is pretty bright, which is good because, like I said, it's getting a little dark out here. All right, gonna let that inflate a little bit. Let's go ahead and unfurl the monster here. He also seems very tall. Same setup on this guy. You've got the small fan on the back, a cord here. Let's go ahead and plug it in. All right, and he's going. So, while that inflates, here we go. This is the pumpkin inflatable, and it's going to probably sway a little bit in the breeze, and as it does, that light that hangs down in it kind of gives it a nice swirling effect. I actually kind of like that. All right. He probably will require that base, though, to keep him upright. Let's go ahead and help this guy to inflate. All right, so here we go. They actually kind of make a cute little pair together. Let me go ahead and get these to stand up a little bit for us, and we'll bring the camera in and take a closer look. Here we have them inflated and standing up. I did go ahead and put the weighted base in the stacked pumpkin, and it stands up pretty well. I really like this carved effect with the artwork on the faces. Gives it that big 3-dimensional effect. I mean, that looks like a legit hole in his nose there. It's got some leaves and stem at the top. And then as we move down, of course, the other pumpkins have the different faces. I really like the different expressions on this. And again, with the whole pumpkin pattern effect, I think this is a very nice, effective inflatable. It does have some tether points if you did want to tether it down. And the back is pretty plain, but it does have the pumpkin effect as well. So if you are going to be putting this somewhere where you'd see it from behind, it will just look like stacked pumpkins. Really like that effect. All right, our Frankenstein's monster over here has a grim look on his face. Very distinct eyes and nose. And look, he even has ears that pop out. And I think the blonde sort of hair is an interesting touch. That's his own little shirt and suit detail. But I think, of course, the cutest thing of this inflatable is he has little feet with toes. I do think he's going to require some sort of stand to be most effective. All right, so Frankenstein also has the tether points, and I think if you had him propped up against maybe your porch or a tree or something, that's going to be the best way to stand him up. Not really sure how that weight's going to work in his legs, but you know, it is nice that he actually has legs. It gives it sort of a different feel from your standard inflatable, which is very bulbous at the bottom. Also, it looks like our pumpkin inflatables stand actually over 6 feet tall as advertised. Frankenstein here might be just a hair shorter than the 6 feet, but he's still a very impressive inflatable. He does light up well. You can see him from far away, but as one of the other commenters pointed out on the Amazon page, his arms do not light up. So he would be best, again, if you had him on a porch with a porch light, or had a little bit of exterior illumination, you're going to be able to see that just a little bit better. I have absolutely no problem with the lighting on the pumpkins. I think it works great. Again, I really love that pattern all the way around it. It's going to work perfectly in my display, and I can't wait to show you that. You're going to have to stay tuned to see what I do with it. But let me know in the comments below what you would do with either of these if you decide to purchase them. If you do purchase them, check out the description of this video. If we're offered any sort of discount codes by the manufacturers, the sellers, we will put those in the description of this video. So check that out before you buy. But I will, of course, put the link to both products in the description. Before we go, I did want to say a special thank you to all the patrons who help support the channel. If you're interested in joining our Fright Club, be sure to check out the link to my Patreon page in the description below. That's going to do it for today, so stay tuned for more product reviews, DIYs, store walkthroughs, and more. Till then, take care and happy haunting.